ideas about what to do for the movie. And so he would be sometimes roughing things together, then they would come over to my desk and I would do the kind of honing and editing and pulling it together, to what became the final product. So that's why we gave, sort of writing credit to the two of us, was that we were sort of putting it up on its feet and creating the ideas, kind of as we went.
And the first cut was 4 hours. That was the version you were in.
The drummer.
And the female drummer history, we started with it really kind of just out of instinct. We wanted to sort of, pay tribute to the idea that Patty really stands at the end of a history, and that she is a really important part inside of that history. And so we started just talking about, wouldn't it be great to interview women drummers? And as we started contacting them, we also started finding out how many of them had really interesting parallel stories to what Patty went through in different parts of the story. So, Alice was just like a gift. She barely ever is willing to.
That's her first interview since Fanny.
Yeah, and she liked Todd on the phone.
Well, we met at a convention in Las Vegas, and I was a Fanny fan. So she was sort of like, but when she started talking, it all made perfect sense.
And she said several times, we drove to Tucson to go and get that interview, and she said several times she almost canceled while we were on the way. And she's actually told other people since, and told us when we were leaving the room as well, that we made her feel really comfortable and that she was really happy.
Now she's driving down for Friday show.
Yep. Yeah. That's awesome.
We've got time for one more question, so make it count.
Up here.
Also, we do have earplugs for everyone, so make sure you get your Hit So Hard.
We have Hit So Hard earplugs to give out.
Go ahead.
Don't run away.
Okay, we'll do both of you. Go first.
In the sort of speaking of that history, I'm close to Patty's agent. I like your film, but I actually felt like there's this huge history of all female bands and female drummers that you really left out. And in the early '90s, there were 2 dozen, not as famous as Home, but you didn't mention what is known as Riot Girls. I mean, you didn't, and it was it's frustrating even in your history. There's this like, oh, there were these women bands in the '70s and they disappeared until 2008. It's like I just don't understand why that.
I don't think that that's what we were trying to do. I think, and I hear your point completely, but I think that what we were trying to do was to kind of say it led up to a moment of Patty, and at that point, I think is when also there is kind of a bit of an explosion of women drummers. So agreed, and I
Our 4-hour cut certainly
had even more to the end. And a lot of it was, we wanted to start the movie with that, actually, and it was really distracting from Patty's story. And so there were a lot of times when there were things that we wanted in, and we just kept having to say, like, we've got it home, we've got to take things out. And so ultimately what we decided that the women drummer sequence was for us was to bring us to say, here's history that led up to the moment when, the star of our movie became a drummer. And there's a great history of other women drummers that comes right around that time period and kind of explodes, which I think is amazing.
And also, just pick up a camera and make that movie if that's what you want to see. This is independent filmmaking is as punk rock as it gets. Just make it. And then one more question. Go ahead.